In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Well, welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. Today we're talking with Dr. Sherry Zhang, a genomics scientist and health tech entrepreneur who built Genopalit's nutrigenomics database and now leads partnerships at Buck Institute Price Lab, where she runs Healthspan Horizons, an AI platform for longevity and personalized health. She's also an author and community leader, and we'll focus today on how AI, data strategy, and partnerships turn complex biology into practical, ethical products. Doctor, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Oh, this is such a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Good to see you again, Emmanuel.
It's good to see you too. And I think it's fascinating that you're working to build some AI databases around how all of us can be healthier and hopefully live longer. Is that accurate?
You're on it. So specifically, we think about this way, right? So people don't wake up, think about, oh, I want to add more years. They think about energy, performance. How do I spend more time with my children, my beloved, right? So at Healthspan Horizons, which is a key initiative launched recently at the Buck Institute for research for aging, we focus on adding life to years, not years to life.
Yes, the quality of life is what we're all looking for, right? To always,
Exactly.
I think about it being like how I felt when I was like 30, 35, kind of like could take on any challenge physically and
Which is right now.
Yeah, you're sweet. Yeah, just a few decades after that. But the quality of life is what's critical and not the years. I appreciate that a lot. Well, what are you finding adds to people's quality of life at any age? What are you finding in the numbers?
Yeah, what do you find most impactful, you mean?
Yeah.
We're still, definitely paving the way as a pioneer in the healthspan science, which is quite new itself, right?
Yep.
At Horizons, we're trying to make it, number one, define what exactly healthspan versus lifespan is. What's the gap that we could measure, predict, and eventually modify? What do I do now, right? At the end of the day, I built platforms direct to consumers for health. People don't change because of information alone. I found it in a long, hard way. People change when they know what to do next, right? So I think the challenge that the whole healthcare is moving from sick care now is more predictive, longitudinal, data-driven healthspan management. I think that's what really we're moving into. Is about how to make it understand it individually, right?
Yeah.
The personalized health and healthcare is really key. And then that's the power of AI. For the first time, in my view, and in many of my peers' view, in human history, we can combine data, a lot of health data, right? We're swimming in there, AI, and also biology, understanding of longevity and healthspan science, that we combine that to really predict, not about understand what's happened, which is the sick care system, right? You have a disease and we diagnosis, and everything is built around that, including economy. But it's really about not just what happened, which is important, but now we can say what's likely happen for you. not for average of 50 years of men that apply that to Sherry Zhang or vice versa, right? A lot of our informed decision processes in healthcare is still living in that realm of utilizing average insights to apply to individual. That could be more wrong, right? So I really see this as a very exciting time as both scientists and also entrepreneur to drive forward for everybody.
Yeah, because there's been this big trend into biohacking, right? And we actually have the ability now to understand my personal genetics, my personal nutrition, supplementation, exercise, lifestyle, and environment, and then how do I build a plan to be healthy within those parameters? Did I miss any of the parameters there?
No, you covered it. As a matter of fact, I will send it to you after the call. We are just publishing, written by one of the world's top scientists in environmental sciences. We call it exposome. So exactly what you're talking about. It's not just you. We're living in our internal and external environment. This is actually the first white paper level insights, leveraging all the evidence we know, and then inspired or advocate the fact that we need to work together to link not only yourself, your genes, your biology, physiology, test status, family history, with where do you live, air quality, what do you eat, how do you live, right? That sort of thing. I'll send it to you. The article.
I love it. Yeah,
I'm gonna go live today, actually. So
I appreciate that. Yeah. So explain to me a little bit about the back end of how the AI works that you're using. I'm guessing you're not using a frontier model, but that you've built your own LLM that is somehow secure or air gapped from the rest of the world. And talk a little bit about what you created in order to leverage the AI.
Yeah, we leverage actually the large language models out there, from the frontier lab. So our frontier lab is systems biology. We have the capability of looking into all the omics data streams you can imagine, right? Genomics is a big one that establish our understanding, foundational kind of like infrastructure of you from your 2.5 million of ancestry. And then we have a snapshot understanding using proteomics, all the proteins, hundreds to thousands of them that we can measure from your blood, transcriptomics and metabolomics, the small molecules like floating around, right? When you eat, when you sleep, and what's really happening right now, today, and in the 6 months old time. And clinical chemistry, wearables, right? Wearables is very powerful, longitudinal. We call it shallow, but it's very useful. It's not as deep as your genomics and proteomics, but it's very important, and it's there's a lot of cumulative insights from there. How well you the sleep structure from your Oura rings and your Fitbit and your Whoop, that sort of thing. It's so in a nutshell, it's a very complex system, as you can imagine. Our lab is the pioneer, under leadership of a computational biologist, Dr. Nathan Price, who co-wrote the category-defining book published 2 years ago called The Age of Scientific Wellness. So that's kind of the help define. We're moving from we talk about the reactive medicine to predictive personalized healthspan management. Yeah, so back to a little bit under the hood, just for your curiosity, we actually leverage LLM as the coaching conversational interface with whether our study participants or consumer, if you may, down the line. We're a nonprofit platform. Everything is offered to the public as we roll them out. Is free of charge, but we do ask them to participate our longitudinal study for the human good. This is the only way that we can deliver them a health navigation system powered by our proprietary AI systems for health. We call it a compass. We are the navigator for health. It's very longitudinal, it's trajectory predicting. I'll share with you if you want to share with your audience when it's live. It's beautiful, it's emerging. And then we utilize agentic AI system so that, for example, when I was back in a graduate school, it took me years to research, read all the papers by my eyes, integrate them, synthesize, and then conceive a study. And then I have to go find them funding to fund that, and it takes years to trials and errors until we publish something of impact, right? I mean, we all going through that kind of research iteration, which is very important. But today with the agentic AI system, each AI agents or group of agents are like armies of Sherry to do the research, to do the analysis, to do the synthesis, to write the paper and come back with a result. And the beautiful thing, as you know, they work 24/7 all the time, right?
Yeah.
It depends on the computational capacity, and you can scale it however you want, right? Obviously, being responsible scientists here and researchers and data, we need to govern the quality of it, and how do we do that responsibly. But with that said, this is going to be just growing our human potential from the research and knowledge generation by however many million times. That's what I hope give you a little bit color of what's going on at our lab.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder, or explain how you're monetizing this Healthspan experience for individuals. What does that look like?
Yeah, we're nonprofit, so we're trying to leverage philanthropy resources, and then also government funding, so that not all the services are gonna be charging, but some of them, for example, down the line, if we have a DNA kit, we can send it to you. And then that's just a passing through from, because we have to pay the lab in order to do the assaying.
Yeah.
We could pass it along to individuals when we have that capability. But right now it's really built upon this beautiful mission together in the community, and really centered in the Buck Institute for Research on Aging, which I don't know how much you're familiar. You're close by. As you may know, we're the world's first dedicated aging research, biomedical research in the world. We house the top 250 top minds in longevity science, from animal model to computational and human studies, and you name it. It's brilliant minds all combined, working very hard to the mission of extending healthspan by a decade for everybody.
I love it. I love the phraseology of Healthspan. I appreciate that play on the words and the narrative. How many data points are you tracking for an individual in when you're projecting Healthspan for them?
Oh, that's a good question. So if I do a quick count, will be, let's say, for genome, we have 3.2 billion letters. So we can read all of them now. And then sometimes times 30 times to cover all the dark sides of it, to replicate and everything, right? So if you're talking about just screening, that's a billions of bits there. Proteomics, usually we assay from hundreds to thousands well characterized proteins, amino acids, and same thing for metabolomics. So I think genome will carry the weight for the more data bits, but I think the every other data points will bring, or sets will bring a lot of more. But in a nutshell, we really just look into everything that about your health and wellness and behavior in between, that integrate that into a synthesized knowledge for you. We want to, it's still in making, but very soon we hope through our leadership thought leadership and also practical application leadership in the longevity healthspan science, that we can demonstrate this idea of it's no longer population average medicine, it's actually a person at a time healthcare.
At the time, so that's important too, right? Because we're dynamic lives, all of us, and we have different concerns through our different phases of our life. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Things happened, and that's, a lot of times people will come to my my company that I founded before I joined Horizons at Buck. It's called GenoPilot, as you graciously mentioned. We are doing nutritional genomics, personalized nutrition for metabolic health, right? So, people are always want to understand what is the next actionable items from your genetics, from the data points you provide, not necessarily the information itself.
well, that's interesting. And so, are there like a set of eating plans that you have that people kind of fall into, or is it very specific for yes, sweet potatoes, no mushrooms, that sort of thing, or how does that
It,
work?
as your life, it's beautifully complex, it's more nuanced than that kind of a, yeah, we do look into number one, the well characterized genotypes in your gene pool that we know from decades of work
Yeah,
in endocrinology, metabolic obesity and metabolic syndrome, nutritional science that can make move needles for you particularly, right? So we have a long hundreds of biomarkers inform a personalized food and nutrition intake plan. And then on top of that, we are now also leveraging telemedicine, telenutrition. We do have, women's health, leveraging all the innovations in the GLP-1,
right.
medications and supplements and personalized for that person. Yeah, it's very, very complex, but it's at the end of the day, it's about that person. What do I do this hour? So we
Yeah.
put a lot of effort in delivering that personalized nutrition and health.
Well, and so then, is it genes, nutrition, and exercise? Where's the hierarchy fit inside of what I can control and what I can't control in terms of my health span?
Yeah, I get that question. Good question a lot. I think depends on where you are. Where I am, I can share with you is number one, quality of my sleep. And, I try to get as much REM sleep, deep sleep
Mhm.
as possible, because
Yeah,
that directly affect my mood and also my performance as a, scientist the next day. There's
yeah,
correlation so clear individually. And then to support that, I think tune into your circadian clock is
mm,
actually more effective than you can imagine. So
interesting.
it's sleep, it's also time of eating.
Yeah,
I practice fasting, extended fasting, but
yeah,
personalize it to my schedule, right? And that's been super effective controlling how sometimes I want to lose fatness, sometimes I want to increase muscle mass,
yeah,
and almost all the time, right? But it's kind of
sure.
what the priority today is. And then circadian, knowing your own circadian clocks, knowing when you should eat, we should stop, you should start building, do resistance training, and so on, is the most effective in my personal story, also, backed by a lot of science. The other one is, this is no news to you, Emmanuel, is purpose. There's
Mm,
purpose is so important for
yeah,
longevity, not just like for centenarians when we see they have friends and that's why they live until 100 years old in the blue zone
yeah,
stories and so on. But it's actually, they were young, right? They were younger. And when they were 20, 30, 40, be very mindful about your purpose and find your own personal
mm,
purpose, however that is. It could be play games with your friends. It could be volunteer, which by the way is biologically helpful for the health. But I think finding that purpose for me is probably two things. I have 19 years old son. He's my light. He's the reason I feel the world is so beautiful. Secondly, I love to build platforms, enable other people to have a little better life.
Yeah.
Used to be genopollinizer horizons. So, I mean, yeah, find your own purpose and find your community. Talk to people. We're societal animals. We need that for our own health.
I love it. And I do agree with you that I think that's probably one of the most important things is a human's purpose, right? And the curiosity for understanding the world and a curiosity for understanding yourself and being able to be a lifetime learner and a beginner at things, and the humility that it takes to learn new things is sometimes a little it's unpalatable but at the same time very critical, and so I know you're a musician also, and that is the ultimate between music and golf. You'll always find some humility.
Oh yes, it's a frustrating sports. It's a frustrating.
Yeah,
I practice. I used to be very good as. Thank you for mentioning it. I grew up actually playing classical music,
yeah.
4 to 8 hours practice every day when I
Wow.
was from 5 to 9, 10. I was seriously considering going for a professional track and then didn't, which I actually think is a better idea now. My world's enlarged. But it's frustrating because recently I volunteer for Feeding America organization locally in our local Eastern Wisconsin chapter. They invited me to do, to play for 500 some people, and then it's a
Yeah.
fundraiser. So it's everything I care about. So I was like, yay. So I committed before I know. I was so rusty. I was, it took me, even the one is a new song, to be fair, but the other
Yeah.
one is something Chopin, Chopin's
Yeah,
piece
right.
I used to nail, no problem. I can play in my sleep, so to speak. But I couldn't. It frustrates me for a long time, but eventually I delivered. It was probably 80% of what I can do when I was 9, but it's still
Yeah.
people loved it. That's what
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I appreciate that. I have been taking the guitar seriously for the last 3.5 years, and so
Good
I
for
get a
you.
lesson every week, and I practice every day, and helps to tune up other parts of the brain and the body, right? By singing and
Yeah,
playing. Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's helped me. Number one is meditational itself is almost therapeutic. When I
Yeah.
played, everything else just all the noise just started to fade. It's a beautiful thing when I sometimes play well and I feel good. And then I think it really does. Oh, it helps my sleep actually. Talking about sleep quality.
Yeah.
When I was playing for the concert, try to practice 45 minutes to an hour every day. And then when I do that, like usually after dinner, and then I, do something, my routine, and go to sleep, I actually sleep better
Yeah.
for some reason. Yeah.
Well, you and I could have a conversation, I think, for the next couple hours, but I know you have
Yes.
lots of other things to do. I really am thankful for you talking about the projects that you're working in and the inspiration for being a full human, and integrating the concept of health span into our lives, and then also to see how technology is supporting us living better lives as humans. So thank you
Thank
for
you
the
for
work that you're
the.
doing, doctor.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a lot of fun, especially working with people share the same mission and super capable. They're the top talents, and you work with is make the work worthy and fun. And then thank you for this conversation. I always like talking to you. This is such a good moment we shared.
I appreciate that very much, and wish you good luck on all these projects because the world needs the help, and I appreciate that.
A lot to do. I will
Okay.
share news along the line.
All right, we'll have you on again. We'll have another conversation.
Thank you,
All right,
Emmanuel.
thank you. Bye bye. Well, it's quite a meander on that conversation with Dr. Zhang. What the net is to look and see how you can accumulate large amounts of data and make it valuable by churning it through an LLM system. Could be client data, could be prospect data, could be project delivery data. But take the time to think through the process and get work outputs that are valuable to you. Also, take a look at GenoPalette or some of the other projects that we talked about today. The information will be in the show notes. And I hope that you found value in the conversation today. I sure did. I also hope that you take some time to continue looking at standard work that you're doing and how you can automate the pieces of it that the software should be doing, and that you maintain control of the parts that the human should be doing, that's you, and that you also save that time, use that time then to continue to upskill, to spend it with your friends and family, or to get outside into nature, away from the screens. This is Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.